Broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network.
Hi, it's day 2 here at SHOT Show 2014. I'm Nikki Turpeaux, your host of Firearms Insider Radio, here at SHOT Show having a great time. And right now we are at the Harrington booth with one of my industry favorites, friend and colleague, Mr. Dave Harrington. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Nikki. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for taking some time to spend with me.
Very cool.
I would like for our listeners and our viewers to know a little bit about your history in the industry. So if you could just tell them a little bit about you and your background.
Okay, my military background was basically the springboard for my entry into the shooting industry, the shooting sports. I spent the majority of my 23-year service in the Army Special Forces. I retired in June of 03. And I want to say it was roughly around 95 time frame. I became a sponsored shooter originally with Beretta, shot for Beretta for almost 5 years. And then moved from Beretta to Smith & Wesson. With Smith & Wesson for a couple of years. Then I went from Smith to EOTAP, which became Panteo Productions, Fernando Coelho's gig. And I've always, from a work standpoint of doing training, my primary sponsor, hands down, has always been Corbon. Pete Sr., very cool guy, has taken real good care of me. We work well together. And the balance between doing training and pursuing the competitive shooting sports, I shoot both IDPA and USPSA, has worked well hand in hand. I'm not, some trainers, don't take this in a negative light, but some trainers kind of eschew competitive shooting because it's not the same animal as work shooting. And that is absolute truth. However, I like to balance it out. I don't consider myself a competitive shooter. I'm a work shooter who happens to dabble in the competitive shooting sports. It keeps me sharp. It keeps my on-demand skills where they need to be. And from a training standpoint, one of I guess if I had to say any one thing to promote myself, I'm not a lockstep trainer. I put together a training crew. I'll do a series of evaluation exercises, get a good read on the individual ability level, as well as what I feel I can accomplish collectively with the whole crew
In that set time frame.
in that specific time frame, correct. And of course resources available. And advise accordingly and take that crew as far as I can go. That's the delicate balance. But I've had a real good, I have many industry sponsors, supporters, too many to list, just verbalize, but I do have to point out again that Corbon, hands down, Paul Buffoni of Bravo Company Manufacturing, my rifle sponsor. Those are my two main sponsors. It's one thing that, if I may continue, one thing I really keyed on just in the last 2 to 3 years in the industry as a whole, the retail side of it, but specifically the training side of it, is society's interest or general attitude towards shooting has made a positive shift, and people are really starting to realize that just owning guns, having a nice pile, at the house isn't cutting it anymore. People are really starting to realize that just owning firearms is a part of it, the first step of it, and that training is an absolute necessity. You need to be able to conduct yourself professionally on all levels.
And efficiently.
Exactly.
And
safety. Safety's paramount, but safety is not something you just observe. Safety is something that you do constantly. But overall, I just really enjoy being a part of it. I just recently got involved with a company called Black Dagger, and they support the special operations community. It's along the lines of like Wounded Warrior Project, comparatively speaking, but they focus primarily on individuals that come from the special operations arena. Right. They're based out of Tampa, Florida. Dave Winters is the president. Very sharp guy, and I'm looking forward to giving back to the community as much as helping the individuals that are there. They need it.
Well, for those of the viewers that are watching, tell us a little bit about your feelings about, you touched on the civilian marketplace and more people that are learning that there's more to firearms ownership than just ownership, that training and safety, all of those things. If there are people watching that are on the fence about whether gun ownership is right for them or not, what words of encouragement could you give to them about kind of how to take that next step in educating themselves or familiarizing themselves with our industry?
Well, that's actually a very complex request. No words in it. The first thing, for those of you that are interested or on the fence in respect to acquiring firearms in the first place, I encourage you to exercise your rights as an American to do so. But understand that unlike anything else, if you don't have the proper start point or mindset in respect to safe ownership, safe storage of not only the firearm itself but the ammunition, it's a pretty big step.
Big responsibility.
But you have to, it's just like anything else. You have to be educated. You have to educate yourself on what all's involved in order to be proficient or efficient. And it's a requirement. It's an absolute necessity. There's any number of folks that think just having a firearm, purchasing a firearm, and knowing how to load it and unload it and clean it, and they're good. They'll be able to employ it when needed. But one thing that I would like to absolutely put emphasis on is beyond your rights to own firearms, you absolutely need to know and understand what your responsibility is, not only responsibility to yourself and your immediate family or your loved ones, but your responsibility to the community to conduct yourself professionally at all times and educate yourself in respect to all of it. You have to know and understand what I would consider your rules of engagement. What is your authority? What authority do you have based on local, state, federal level? What's your authority to apply lethal force? A lot of people don't know. Flat out don't know. So I always encourage people to educate themselves on their local, state, and federal guidelines as it relates to not only gun ownership and responsible gun ownership, but your ability to apply lethal force should you find yourself in that set of circumstances.
Yeah, well, we have a lot of civilians who are getting into the realm of IDPA shooting and some of the things that you mentioned earlier. So do you have any words of advice for those people who have taken the step to purchase their firearms, they've gotten some training, and now they're looking for an outlet to do some practical type of application.
I certainly encourage participating in the shooting sports. IDPA being the predominant organization that's focused on personal defense, self-defense oriented type scenarios, shooting scenarios, competitive scenarios. USPSA being more of a very physical shooting sport.
A little more challenging.
Much more challenging in some respects from a shooting standpoint. And a physicality. But the primary thing is every shooting organization, be it Bullseye, PPC, IDPA, USPSA, it has value. That specific organization or sport, as it's structured, has value. Now, how you tend to prioritize that value or put emphasis on what it is you want to be good at. The key is, it's just like anything else. If you want to be good at it, you have to train and apply yourself to that endeavor. It's a very, unlike other type team-related sports, the one thing about the shooting sports is it isn't based on absolute individual effort. Some people have a natural talent. Some people take to it like ducks take the water. Other people, like myself, I've had to work at it. I have definitely worked and applied myself over time to acquire my knowledge and experience. But it's still a learning process for me. Even to this day, there are things that I specifically focus on and work on for my own training and skill progression.
I think one thing too that people don't realize is that shooting is actually a perishable skill. That it's something that you have to.
Yes.
You need to continue your training. You can't just go to the range once or twice a year.
Absolutely.
You can't just take one class and check the box for the rest of your life that you know it all and you've done it all.
And
continuing that training regimen is really
You're
important.
absolutely correct. It becomes there's two ways of looking at it. One, you have to decide what it is you want to accomplish. Do you want to acquire the knowledge and ability which equates into confidence, being able to confidently protect yourself along the lines of concealed carry, not only yourself, maybe your loved ones and your family members. What is where's the cutoff point for the amount of time, energy, and resources that you put into the endeavor to acquire that level of experience? It's almost
How
like
good is good enough? It never really is.
Exactly. There is no good enough.
Right. There is no such thing as good enough.
You simply have to, based on what you want to accomplish, whatever you decide, where you want to go with it, how much time, energy, and resources you're going to commit, and then stick with it. But you're absolutely correct in respect to shooting being a perishable skill. You have to continuously apply yourself to whatever extent that is, and I was going to, you could say in some respects it's a rhetorical question, because it's really only a question that each individual out there can answer themselves.
How much are they comfortable with?
Right, exactly.
What is their comfort level?
What is
How do they
What is
define
enough
good
confidence?
enough? Right. How much
What is
is
good
enough?
enough? From where I'm standing,
Never good enough.
it's never good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to constantly strive to improve on all levels. I encourage you to apply yourself on all levels, mentally, physically. The more you know, the more you're able to comprehend and apply. And again, there's always a certain level of knowledge base that comes with experience. of training, pursue training to conduct yourself professionally in respect to safety. Not only safe ownership, but storage. What are your requirements individually or collectively as it relates to your family? Do you have young children in the house? You have to have a good plan. There's an article I wrote for the IDPA Journal. You can find it online, I'm sure, at IDPA.com. Research it, but it was the focus of the article was home defense and what was involved with that. I didn't get into specifics in respect to telling you what you need to do or how to do it, but as much as provide a broad spectrum look at it to better understand what all's involved and what all the considerations are. You can contact me directly. Either by phone or email. My information's out there.
Just Google Dave, you'll find him.
I can't say enough again about my primary sponsors, Corbon Ammunition. They provide ammunition for all types of endeavors: competitive shooting, hunting, personal defense, training.
The Corbon Powerball is one of my favorites.
Actually, that's an excellent load. My favorite Corbon defense load is the 95 grain DPX, 9mm. It's a screamer. It's loaded at 1,400 feet per second.
Hit hard.
And they hit hard, and they are laser beam accurate.
Yeah.
BCM, Bravo Company Manufacturing, for all your AR needs.
We're brethren, even though I'm a female, he's a male. We're both involved in Panteo Productions.
Yes, Panteo Productions. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so for those of you who would like to train with Dave, but maybe don't have the time or resources or vacation days to come and train with him
I do
out
have,
of state, you can find him at PanteoProductions.com. We're both listed there as instructors. I got you, Dave.
Brain fade.
Oh, I got you. But yeah, you can find him. You can train with him online.
Fernando Coelho has been more than generous in my sponsorship over the years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And now we'll be on Make Ready TV on the Pursuit channel. So
Very cool.
people can watch the Pursuit channel and you can see some training tips and pro tips with Dave there. So those are great resources for people to train.
Absolutely.
Very good.
What we have to thank those for the reason we're here.
Oh yeah. Firearms Radio Network. Firearms Insider Community. Myself, I'm labor of love here at SHOT Show on these feet 24 hours a day.
Very cool.
So well, thank you, Dave, for taking time to be with us. Appreciate it. So great to see you again.
All right, see you at the range.
Yeah, see you. Keep training.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.